Hi Flosstube, it's Darlene with Darlene Dion Designs. How are you all doing? This is Flosstube number 62. Today is August, I think it's the 19th, but I'm not positive. It is Tuesday morning. If you're new here, welcome. I appreciate you stopping by. If you've been here for a while, I appreciate you as much or more. What's new? I have some new stitching to show you. I have some life news, nothing major. I have just typical Flosstube stuff. So if you're new, I am in Nova Scotia on Canada's East Coast, on the southwest, in the southwest part of Nova Scotia. We have been having an extremely dry summer, probably the driest that I can ever remember. We're having fires, none. We did have one close to us, but it was very small and put out quickly. But there are fires in the Annapolis Valley. There's a pretty serious one going on there now, has been for, must be close to a week now. Yeah, I would say. Some people have been displaced. There have been no loss of homes yet, which is a blessing. Lots of firefighters from all over Canada and fire bombers, water bombers coming from as far away as Northwest Territories and Alberta, I've been told. Yeah, so, and then there's been other ones here and there around the province. Not, well, they're all serious, but not as big and not as long lasting. So, and Newfoundland has really been plagued with some bad ones this summer. They've had a huge one or two, and they're still ongoing. So yeah, it's always a concern. We're getting some days where we get a lot of smoke from the fire in the valley, and so every time you smell smoke, you wonder, is this a new fire in the area, or is this residue smoke from that fire? So you kind of have to be on your guard and be aware of your surroundings and know what's going on. I don't have a 72-hour bag ready. They tell you that you should if you're near, but I'm not that close right now. But I know a lot of people have got a bag ready. They're important papers, they're medications, things like that. Excuse me. I may have to zip out for a second. Emmett's out, and he's probably going to want to come in. So Emmett's my little dog. Anyway, that's the fire situation. We did have rain night before last, which was lovely. I think it was the sweetest rain I've ever experienced, and I love rain. So yeah, it didn't help a lot, but at least it was something. There was a fire about 10 miles away from us that night, but that is pretty much under control. Yeah, it's just every day you think you're going to hear of a new one, and pretty much every day we do hear of a new sighting or smoke sighting or a new fire or something that's being investigated or whatever. So yeah, it's definitely, we're praying for the rain, and we're praying for those who are fighting the fires and the people who have been displaced and all the things. I hope the weather is nice where you are. It's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's nice here. It's warm. And this morning, it was only 2 degrees Celsius when we got up, which is, I don't know. That must be like, I don't even know what that is in Fahrenheit. Maybe 8. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. Anyway, it was chilly and I liked it. It was nice. My shoulder is doing better. Thank you so much for the kind comments. If you're new, I broke my shoulder in March, and I've been dealing with that. I'm still going to physio. The physiotherapist that I see has been away on vacation for 3 weeks, so I only had about 3 weeks of the TENS machine instead of actual therapy. So this week when I went, she was back and she did all the stretches, and Yeah, I'm seeing improvement definitely, and I'm trying to do the exercises on my own more often. So, yeah, all of those things help. So, thank you so much for your kind comments and prayers. Um, what have we been doing? This past Saturday, we went to the Annapolis Valley exhibition, which is same as a state fair for those of you in the US. Um, it was nice, very hot, very dry, very dusty. um, I always enjoy the quilts and crafts building so much, and yeah, seen some lovely pieces there, and had a visit with a good friend. And yeah, it's always a nice fun day. Our son and his girlfriend and her two little girls were there with us, and that was a nice change. So we really enjoyed that. Um, we what else did we do? Oh, the week before we went to the South Shore, which is Lunenburg, Mahone Bay, over there. We usually try to get over a couple of times each summer, and last year we didn't get over at all. So this is the first time for us to go this summer. So we'll probably try to go again in early fall. Um, we always have a nice day there. A lot of walking, and again, it was hot. This time we went to the Fisheries Museum, the Nova Scotia Fisheries Museum, which is so interesting. They have a lot of small fish tanks inside with fish that are native to Nova Scotia, and that's very interesting, very educational. It was good for the kids. And then they have a lot of fishing paraphernalia, a lot of information about the blue nose and the schooners. If you don't know Nova Scotia well, the blue nose was a schooner that was I can't remember what years, early 1900s, I guess. Was competed in many, many, many races on the East Coast, on the up and down the East Coast, and has won some big, big prizes. So anyway, that's always. And now there's a blue nose. Well, there was a blue nose 2, and now there's a third, but they still call it the blue nose 2 because of parts of the ship that was used to build the new one, I guess. So anyway, that's usually there, docked at the wharf. It's not there. It wasn't there Sunday. But it's always nice to see that, and it's lovely to see it out on the water in full sail. And anyway, we really had a good day. And then we went from Lunenburg. We went over to Mahone Bay, and we took the kids to the ferry trails. Because of the dryness, the trails and the woods is closed here in Nova Scotia, so you can't work in the woods. Well, there are circumstances where you can, but there's a $25,000 fine for anyone with an open fire, or anyone in the woods that's not supposed to be in the woods. You're not supposed to go on the trail. So this little trail is just in the backyard of a coffee shop there in Mahone Bay. So that was open. It wasn't in the woods. There was houses right there where we were. So it was really cute. They have all of these little fairy houses made from teapots, and like old silver teapots, and some that are just made from a box that they create, a wooden box, a crate of some sort, and so many things that they used. And here and there there'd be little red mushrooms and little there's an old rock foundation there on that property, and you can step down. There's steps down into this foundation, and there are little houses and little paraphernalia all in through the rocks of the foundation. It's so cute. The kids loved it. So we really enjoyed that. And I don't think we seen it all. Like, I don't think we walked the whole trail. Apparently afterwards, when we went inside the coffee shop, there was a map, and I think we missed some of it. So we'll probably try to do that another day. But anyway, we had a good time, and it's nice to spend time with them. My son is home right now. For those of you who know, he works at the North Pole. It's about 500 miles from North Pole. He's in the most northerly inhabited community, settlement, whatever you want to call it, in the world. He's at the military base Alert, or station. I guess it's a station. Alert. He's a civilian carpenter maintenance there, and he goes for 8 weeks, and he comes home for sometimes 4 weeks, sometimes 8 weeks. So he's been home for most of the summer, which I think he came home the first part of July. Anyway, it's been really nice to have him home. No, I'm wrong. He's been home, I don't know. Anyway, I think he got home around the 20th of July, maybe. Anyway, it's been nice. So, yeah, that's enough life, I guess. I will answer a question. I had a couple of questions and I can't find, I think there were like 3 or 4 questions, and I can only find one when I go back through. I only went back through one video. Maybe I'm thinking of the past 2 videos, so I'll have to look a little farther, but I was kind of pressed for time this morning, so I didn't look too far. But one question was from Marie, and she asked, when I use variegated floss, do I stitch 1 stitch at a time, or do I do row one way and then a row back, crossing the other leg of the cross? And with variegated floss, more often than not, I do 1 stitch at a time. If the floss is not noticeably variegated, I will do a row, but with DMC, I mostly do rows. I prefer row work, but with the variegated floss, I usually don't do it. So anyway, and she asked me, what do I feel is, I don't think there's really a right or wrong. I think you should do what works for you. Just do what feels right for you. Okay, my last video, thank you so much for all of your comments and kind words about my work being shown in the Needlework Marketplace this year. This is the first time they approached me and asked me if I was interested in being involved, and I was thrilled. So I'm going to show you those patterns first, and I did show them in my last video, but for anyone that didn't see that, I want to just quickly show them again. So they will be available this weekend through Needlework Marketplace, which is the 22nd to the 25th of August. And they will be paper charts available through Willoughby Ann. I'll list that below. She is the lady she is the company, business, whatever, that is representing me at the market. So she will be printing and distributing my charts in the US. So if you are a shop in the US and you're interested in any of my pieces, or if you are just a shopper, a regular everyday stitcher shopper, you can approach your local needlework shop that you like to shop from and ask them to carry my patterns. And you can tell them that I am, they can order through Willoughby Ann at Needlework Marketplace. I forgot to tell that last time about Willoughby Ann. So yeah, when their list of vendors come out, I'm not listed as a vendor because I'm in under Willoughby Ann. That's how it works. Anyway, this is one of them. We Are Family. This is on 36 count. I think it's Hemingway, but I can't remember. I'd have to look back. I have 2 patterns that have more than one chart this time. And this is I Stitch and I Quilt. They're so fun. I loved stitching these. They're finished with a little piece of baker's twine. They are very small. They're about 2.5 to 3 inches, I would say, across and up. They're almost square. Anyway, and I think they are stitched on chestnut, but I'm not positive. I know it's 36 count. And this is the other set. This is Christmas Sampler Trio. And these are monochromatic. And of course, there. And I finished them with a green velvet on the back and some piping around the edge. Oh, that's probably where the questions were in that video. I will address them next time. But one question that I was asked was about this trim that I used, and I wanted to show you that. I bought this here at a fabric store called Atlantic Fabric. So if you're from Nova Scotia, you're familiar with that. But it's an Atlantic Canada chain. So this is a piece of upholstery piping, and I unraveled it. And so these are they're like 3 pieces of piping wound together. And I unwound that and used it on the outside because it was a perfect green and I couldn't find anything else, but the green was just perfect for the velvet that I had. So I like that. And then I have another one that I used a similar piece of. You gotta use what you can find around here where we don't have a lot of choices. A new Quaker that is going to be at Marketplace is Happy Halloween. And oh, I love this. It's so cute. So we've got a black cat and a spider, a witch's hat, pumpkin, a crow, my wonderful, not my, but my favorite Quaker design. Some witch shoes. And the moon, yeah. Finished it with some black star fabric. Anyway, so that one is on 36. Well, this one is stitched on 18 count Aida, but my sister stitched this one for me. She model stitched it for me. She's an incredible stitcher. So same as 36 count over 2. And then the last one is, it's got some dog hairs on it, Emmett. Today only happens once, it's called. Some blue fabric on the back. And the trim on this one is, again, something that I bought locally, and it was a braid, or, you know, and I took that middle one out and used it for trim because, again, it was a perfect color. So anyway, so those are my 5 brand new pieces for Market. I also have 12 of my previous pieces that are being shown at Market because my pieces have never been shown through shops before, never been shown to shops before. So she told me I could put as many as I wanted. So I chose 12, and they are there too. And they have been shown in my I'm so sleepy today. Sorry, I'm yawning. Anyway, yeah. So the other 12, you would see them already in my shop. Now, with Marketplace, I've never had paper patterns for any of my cross stitch patterns before. From here on in, I will have for those 5 and 12, and then over time I will get the others ready in paper as well. And they will be in my Etsy shop. They will still be available as PDFs, but the ones from Market, the new ones from Market, the 5 new ones from Market, won't be available as PDFs for, you have to wait 30 days after Market. So I'll make them available by the end of September as PDFs. Now, also I wanted to talk to my quilter friends here. I also design and sell quilt patterns, and most of them have always been available as paper. And there's Emmett. I'll be right back. Yeah, so the quilting patterns have always been have been available in my Etsy shop as PDF or paper. I've had to make some changes there because of the tariffs in the States. So I'm not going to be mailing paper patterns to the US anymore. I'm sorry that I had to make that decision. It's not a decision I wanted to make, but I don't want anyone who orders a pattern through me to get dinged with a high tariff fee on the other end either. So for now, tariffs, paper patterns will not be going to the US. If you are interested, like I said, most of them are available as PDF in the Etsy shop, and the link for that is below. Yeah, I don't know any other way to make a solution for this. It's just, it is what it is, and I don't, like I said, it's too bad, but it is, that's how it is. And because my cross stitch paper patterns are going to be distributed and printed by Willoughby Ann in the States, they will be available to the US because where she's printing them there will be no tariffs on them. So I'm pretty sure that I will be printing my own paper cross stitch patterns on this end for anyone in Canada. So we'll be doing it that way probably. Okay, also I have 2 new patterns today that are not part of Needlework Marketplace that I want to show you. And they again are the little series that I mentioned last time, and I think I've pretty much settled on short and sweet for the name of this series. And this is one of the new ones. This is Silent Night. Of course, one of our most traditional and loved Christmas carols of all time. This is stitched on 36 count. I can't remember. I'll try to put it below. I just listed that yesterday. Should be able to remember that. Oh, what a brain. No, I can't remember it. Anyway, I love how it looks, and I have a nice piece of Snowman Gatherings fabric from Primitive Gatherings for my accent fabric. I love it. I love all of those Snowman Gatherings fabrics. So that's available now as a PDF in the shop. And then this one is I'm Old Spool. I love that little pun. I just had to take advantage of that when I saw that. I love it so much. So, I'm Old Spool, and there's some thread spools and a pin cushion. Oh dear. And that one is stitched on 36 count. Oh my, I can't remember, but I'll list them below. Got to make a note. Okay, that's everything new that's finished. Those are my finishes. I've had a big finish, and I'm really excited to share this with you. I feel like oh yeah, I had a couple of starts too, but I'll show you this. This is a nice finish. This, I think, was my oldest whip, and this is Riley Harbor from Kathy Barrick. I love how it turned out. Look at that whale. Oh, I love him so much. I debated for the longest time on what thread to use for that whale, and I finally, and I don't have it written down what it is. I will list that below too, what thread I used for the whale. I know a few people are interested in what changes I made to the flosses, because I definitely made some changes there. I brightened it up. I just love it so much. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to get it framed. This is stitched on 32 count Lugana. Ale by Picture This Plus. I remembered one. Imagine. So yeah, I'm really, really Really happy with it. And that whale. Isn't he great? Oh dear. So that will hang over my mantle in my living room when I get that framed. Love it. I don't know if I showed you this. I think I showed you this last time. I'm participating in Stash Sampler September, which has kind of been extended to August and September. Creative Lee from New Zealand and Narissa's Stitching Lifestyle. She started it. Narissa did the hashtag, I think, and Lee jumped right in and has done her. She has participated for 2 or 3 years. And so the way it works is they choose 8 samplers from their stash that they want to start, or 8 or 9. Usually they go with the day that August the 1st is on. So this year it fell on a Friday. So there are 9 Fridays in September and August and September. So they're doing 9 starts. I'm doing half starts and half sampler whips from my whip pile. So this was a start, and I'm pretty sure I showed you all of this last time. This is Anne Grissom, 1818, and Grimshaw, 1818. I've wanted to start this one for a while. I had planned on starting it for my birthday, and I broke my shoulder the day before, so that didn't happen. Anyway, I'm stitching it on this huge piece of I can't remember. It's 36 count. And it's a yard, like it's a huge piece, but I'm not going to use it all. It's not going to take all of it. And so also this week, it's all black, so I'm using 310. The second start I wanted to do was, for the sampler starts, was Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogert. Am I saying that right? Kogut. Teresa Kogut. Yes. I am saying it wrong that time. Okay. This shows you the whole sampler. It's a big one. It is $2.94 by $3.90. I'm stitching it on 36 count. And like I said, I don't remember what this fabric is called. But I will tell you that in the notes, if I remember to do that when I'm listing the. So it's on the other end of Anne Grimshaw. And I got a pretty good start on it. I'm attempting to do the bones of the border before I get too far into it. I saw on Instagram, Hooping It Up, I think it is. Pretty sure it's Hooping It Up on Instagram. She added reds to hers, and I'm going to add reds to mine. Oh, just love the reds in there. So this flower has a red added, and that's the first bit of red that's the first bit of color other than green that I've added. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to this, and I have enjoyed working on it very much so far. So that was a new start for the sampler, stash sampler starts. Stash sampler starts, I think, is the hashtag. Now also, I'm participating in the leap year SAL. So last year on Leap Day, the idea was you started a new piece on Leap Day last year and you will finish it 4 years time on the next Leap Day. And I chose Consider the Lilies, which I had in my stash. If you've been here, that a friend passed away and I inherited all of her cross stitch supplies, which was, wow, it was amazing. And I have not, I think I've only bought maybe 2 pieces of fabric since then. because I'm just working from her stash. But a lot of her stash was kitted up, and this was all kitted up and ready to go. And I'm using the called for variegated flosses. So there's 24 pages in the book. So I'm trying to do a half a page each. I'll show you just quickly. I'm trying to do a half a page each month for 48 months. So I'm behind because of my broken shoulder. So I'm playing catch up, but I'm working on it this week and I'm doing pretty good. It's so big. Okay, so let me see. I have just finished June's page, and I have part of July's started. So I just need to finish like one full page. That's July and August, which is right here. So once I get that done, I will be all caught up, and I'm hoping to do that before the end of, get it all finished before the end of the month. I'm stitching this on 36 count winter brew. Ha! How did I remember that? Probably because I've told it so many times. Anyway, so yeah, I just stitched this little, I don't know what it is, little tree last night, and I finished stitching this one this week, and I stitched this morning. So yeah, it's enjoyable. I love it very much. I'm not tired of it. It's great. So last time I showed you a finish that I had that was 2 over 2 on 28 count. Most of my work now is on 36 count. Some is on 37, some is on 40, because I prefer 1 over 2, 1 thread over 2 fabric threads. When I came back to stitching 2019, I was doing 2 over 2 like I had done when I was younger, and I just picked up where I left off with those counts, and then I decided to try linen, and when I inherited all that from my friend, most of hers was 36 and 40, so I said, well, I will go to 1 thread, and I love it. And my stitching is so much neater with 1 thread. So, but I had a few whips that I was going to abandon, and then I changed my mind and said, no, you've done all that work. Just because it's 2 threads doesn't mean that you shouldn't finish it. So I am making an effort to get them all finished. I finished Home Sweet Home from Modern Folk Embroidery earlier, and then the one I just showed you was 2 over 2 on the Riley Harbor from Kathy Barrick. That was 2 over 2 on, I said 32, but that might be 28 too. I'd have to check. Anyway, and then this is the one I'm working on right now, and I'm trying to do at least 1 thread a day. It doesn't always work out, but and when I do, I usually do more than 1 thread. Sometimes I work on it for a couple hours. So this is Mighty Acorn, and I'm stitching it in memory of my dad. He passed away in 2010. And yeah, I'm not making many changes. I'm using a mix of the DMC and called for fancy flosses. So yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot more than I expected to with the 2 over 2. So I'm getting there. Yeah, I've got, I'm working on this leaf right now. And I've got the outlines done so I can just fill in. And the house, I ran out of Schneckly, so I've got that now, and I can finish that. Schneckly is the color of the house. So there's really not a whole lot left to do. A few leaves, probably a bird up there. Is there a bird up there? No, it's just leaves. And then just more greenery and stuff like that along the bottom, and his initials and year and all that will go in. So, oh, and this border isn't done. So not a whole lot left. And it's very small, and with the fill-in, it's very nice and portable. So I've been taking that in the car some. I'll probably take that this afternoon. We have a doctor's appointment. My husband does. So, okay, I think that's all I've stitched. I did want to talk about plans a little bit. What are we, 35 minutes? As part of the sampler stash sampler starts, this is one that I think I've chosen to do also as part of that from the same book. And it's called Bittersweet September. I love it. There's 2 small samplers. Well, I say they're both samplers in this book. Maybe they're not. The other one doesn't have an alphabet on it, but I love it. And so that's the other one. So would you consider that a sampler? Please, if you know, let me know. So there's that, and there's that. I will likely do this one, but I like the other one a lot too. So that'll be part of my, I think that'll be part of my stash sampler starts. And Lee and Narissa both also started or are starting Let Love Rain, the one that I have started. I don't think either of them have started that one yet, but and then they have this one. Both of them are planning to start this one, and I want to start this one too. Oh my goodness, I love this piece so much. And my sister is going to stitch this one with me, and she also started Let Love Rain. So this is done on five different pieces of fabric, and then they're sewn together. You can see that there. And that's how I'm going to do it. Lee is doing it on one piece of fabric that she dyed herself, and she made each little section slightly different. She used slightly different dyes to highlight the 5 different samplers. And I can't remember if Narissa is doing 5 or all one piece. But anyway, I'm planning to do 5. I haven't got them all picked out yet, but I've got to get at that in the next few days. Anyway, I love it very much. Oh dear. And there's a lot of heart pieces in this book. There's a lot of pieces in here I would love to do. So, and then my last start probably for, well, I don't remember if I listed 5 starts or 5 whips. But anyway, I'm planning to do this one. The Humming of the Bees from Blackbird Designs, and this I have it all kitted up from my friend that had passed with 36 count Dusty Rose, and she had the silks. Trying to see the name of them. Hand dyed fibers. So that'll be the first time for me having used silk. So that'll be an experience and fun, I'm sure. I'm really looking forward to that. So I may start that. I've had 2 starts, and I'm considering my Consider the Lilies, one of the samplers from my stash that I'm whips. So I had M. Grimshaw for the first, and then I worked on Consider the Lilies for the second Friday, and then I had Let Love Rain for the next one. And so this week will probably be a sampler whip, and I'm pretty sure it will be the winter sampler from Crochet to Go-Go. So I have that one in my whips. And then the next one probably will be this one, unless Lee and Narissa start this one. I would kind of like to start the same week that they do that. And then I haven't got up the rest figured out yet. But anyway, so that's pretty much it for me today. I feel like I have giveaways. I feel like I rambled on a little bit, but In my last episode, I did not bring them in here. My last regular episode, I did giveaways for my first 6 pieces in this series. So they are Simply Blessed, Farmer's Market, Flower Power, Happy Spring, nope, yep, Happy Spring, Cross Stitch, and Sweet Summer. So I did random comment pickers for YouTube, and these are the winners of those 6 pieces. They are for a PDF chart of these pieces. So Simply Blessed, the winner is Stitching on the Rock, and that's Deanne in Newfoundland. And Farmer's Market is Christine.Stitches. So Christine, please get in touch with me at my email address that's listed below, and I will get a PDF off to you. Flower Power is K Stall. So K, please get in touch with me. Well, I say K, it's maybe, I'm not sure what the K stands for. Happy Spring. The winner is at Joanne Toby. So email me, please. And Cross Stitch, the winner is L Snaps, my friend Lisa from Texas. So Lisa, please get in touch with me at my email address there. And Sweet Summer, the winner is Darlene Guillory. So if you could all get in touch with me at my email address below, and I'm going to do giveaways in my next video for this one. So I'm Old Spool and Silent Night. So please use the word night or spool if you want to be in on the draw for them, for the PDF. Okay, that's it for me today. I hope you all are enjoying, shaking the table. Hope you're all enjoying wonderful weather and lots of fun this summer, and that you are not too hot and not too wet and not being flooded out, all those things, and that you're stitching and enjoying lots of that. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.